Aloha.
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 Has the weather warmed up?
Oh yeah, it's about 81 degrees these days.
Beautiful.
But about a somewhat cool breeze.
Hey, Marge.
Hey, how are you doing?
Good.
Hi.
Hi, aloha.
Oh, look who's there. Hi, Donnie.
Everybody I know is so impressed with all you guys. I'm impressed with you too.
There we go. Okay, Jim, you made it. Great.
Yeah.
Oh, and Bob, you made it. Hi there,
Hi,
Bob.
Bob.
Bob Barley. Hey.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good.
That was Jim Madison.
And
Yeah.
Jake's
Yeah,
on.
Jim
Hi,
and I
Jake.
went to high school together.
Yes, we were.
No
Yes, we did, I should say.
Where was that?
And that's Barb McCall. Is that Vince or is that Bob Simon?
This is Vince.
Okay,
Vince.
Vince. We'll take your phone.
Hey, Bill, well,
Yes?
we got a lull, but I want to buy the rest of your books because I've read the first couple of them. Where do I get a complete list of your books?
So talk to my agent here, Judy.
There are two. Yes, all of his books are on Amazon. So just go to Amazon; they're all there.
It'll be 12 pretty soon.
We're coming up at number 12.
Wonderful.
I
Yeah.
want to talk to Betty Ann. I just read her book, and it's marvelous.
Wonderful. Just
Wonderful California history. And the amazing thing is how beautifully she writes. You write,
Yes.
Betty Ann. It's
thank
just a
you.
lovely
Great.
book. And anybody in this group who hasn't got it yet should.
So but I wrote those stories about 20 years ago. I didn't even want to call it the Munchkin Diary. That was something David Bowling, who's a publisher and editor, who helped me.
Well, we have a bunch of really literary people on here. And I thought I'd start with John Foyt. I think he's a champion of us all. I
Right.
think John's got, about 14 novels now, John?
They're all on Amazon, but I have a website. You can go to the website and look at all the novels. It's just John Foyt at johnfoyt.com is the website, JONFOYT.com. My latest novel, which is at the publisher now, is sort of historical fiction, but it takes place in the Central Valley of California. Based on an experience I had about, I guess it's been about 30 years ago. I was building houses and trying to build houses in the Central Valley. And I was invited by a surveyor friend of mine to a meeting of these men in the Central Valley, outside of Modesto, actually. So here was this convention hall full of all these men, and they were drinking some beer, actually, and they were all doing business. And this was where the business of that part of the Central Valley was conducted. And all these guys were making deals. The meeting is disrupted by a group of young women who are demanding women's rights and throwing the whole meeting into confusion. These were all women who were active in the Title IX programs in the junior colleges in Central Valley of California. They were athletes. And the congressional aide is at the meeting, and there's a rumor gets out about what he's going to announce. So the book is really about the rumor and what it means for the Central Valley of California. All this superimposed upon the water shortage and the new California law about drilling wells in the Central Valley. And
I live in the Central Valley right now, so I've been here 20 years.
What part? Where do you live in the Central Valley?
I'm in Stockton. I'm not familiar with a woman being a mayor in this town. That's interesting. Yeah, it's the Central Valley is the way you describe the old time politics. I think it's been pretty consistent until Michael tried.
Well, I think for purposes of our get together today, maybe we should totally forget about politicians in the Central Valley.
Or anywhere.
Perhaps.
Or anywhere.
And then there's the fracking issue. And I happen to spend my summer between my first senior year and my second senior year as a well sitter on a 15,000 foot deep well out near Blackwell's Corners.
What does a well sitter do?
A well sitter checks the mud every hour, takes a sample, logs the depth of the drill, and reports in daily to the main office in Bakersfield. And I had to drive to a party line telephone about 10 miles away. And every time I'd pick up that phone, I could hear about 10 other phones picking up, and they were all spies checking on the progress of this well. My first greeting was, "Hello, everybody."
That's funny.
That was really oil country down there. And Schlumberger used to come out to log the well with their electronics. And part of that was to keep the drill from going sideways into the U.S. Naval Reserve. Boy, was that a bonanza.
So Bob Barley, were you an author as well?
No. I went to Stanford, and the first thing I said is, after my freshman year, where no one could do anything other than just go through the freshman year. Then I said early on, they said, "What do you want to major in?" And I said, "I want to major in business." And they said, "We've got a graduate business school, but you can't, there's nothing for business in your first 4 years at Stanford." So I said, "I'll try what's related?" They said, "Well, economics." So I started in economics and took Econ 1, if some of you remember that course. I took Econ 1, and they said, "Okay, we're going to have a test. When the marginal cost curve intersects the marginal price curve," then I said, "Wait a minute, I can't use that. That ain't going to do me any good." So they said, "Well, all right, what do you like?" And I said, "I like mathematics." And they said, "Well," I said that I was good in math, I think. And so then they said, "Fine, we recommend engineering." And I said, "Well, that's good. I've been taking some physics 21, and I'd like to, I'll just continue that." And they said, "No, you won't. If you're an engineering major, you have to take physics 51, not 21. And I said, so I said, "When does that?" I think, in my middle quarter of 3, as I remember. We had 3 quarters in those days. And so I was in my middle quarter. Pardon?
Still do.
Still do, Jim? Okay. So I said, "Fine. When can I start it?" And they said, "You can start it in the spring quarter with electrical." German professors that were of world renown. And it was,
Felix Bloch.
it was a challenge to start physics 51 in the spring quarter after everybody else had the fall quarter and the winter quarter of the thing. But anyway, that's my problem, and that's the way Stanford started for me. I did meet my wife, Polly Latham, who was class of 53. I started as class of 52, and we met. And Polly died prematurely, as far as I'm concerned, in 1993. But she was, I met her at Stanford, and so Stanford was a great experience.
Bob, I was in Russell House with Polly.
Yeah, sure.
And I remember when she got engaged and she said she was just tired of dating.
And he's better than nothing.
It was so cute. She had the ring on her finger, I think.
Well, Russell had some You were part of a wonderful group of ladies there at Russell.
Vince Nola, were you an author as well?
No, ma'am, I was a physician.
Okay, tell us about it.
Well, I graduated from Stanford, as you well know, in 53, went on to USC, the medical school. And I graduated there in 57. And I came back to Santa Clara County to do my internship and my residency in OBGYN at Santa Clara, then called Santa Clara County Hospital, now it's Valley Medical Center. And I practiced for 45 years there in San Jose, across the street from O'Connor Hospital. And then I retired finally. I'm down living in Indian Wells, California, down here in the desert of Coachella, and enjoying my retirement. But I still miss being a physician, but at 90, I can't keep that pace going. So I just enjoy life till the end.
So how many babies did you deliver?
I delivered 6,032 to be exact.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Whoa,
Wow.
whoa, whoa.
Did you deliver your own?
No, I did not. I let my partners do that. I didn't want the responsibility. Also, I did a lot of infertility work, and I started IVF in San Jose and did the first delivery of an IVF baby at O'Connor Hospital.
Oh, wow. That's
The
exciting.
first baby that was born up from IVF was delivered at Stanford. So I got the second one, or the first one at O'Connor's. I had about 100 babies that I delivered. That I helped create. Didn't deliver them, but I had a lot of fun doing it, and made a lot of families complete with their families,
Really
their children. So it was a great experience.
Wow.
So
Well, Bob, you can tell folks how you got from mechanical engineering degree into banking.
I did take ROTC, and I did a couple of years in the Air Force as a result of that. And then I went on to business school, and then in business school, I finally faced that I didn't know much about or have much talent for engineering. So I said, well, I do like numbers. So banking, ended up in banking with United California Bank in California.
Anyway, back to the avocados. Are they getting ripe?
Yes, I have picked all of our Hass avocados, and we will be picking lamb Hass next month and the month after. And I wish I had that many hanging on the trees right now, but I don't. We had a heat spell in January, and we had east winds that just blew the fruit off the trees.
Oh.
And the heat fried the fruit, and drive up in the orchard and covered with fruit on the ground.
Oh.
Farming is, I don't need to go to Las Vegas.
Okay.
No way do I need to go to Las Vegas. If you farm, you go to Las Vegas every day.
Are you sitting in front of a picture or a mural or something? As the avocados behind you look like they're like papayas.
They're gorgeous.
They are lamb Hass. And I said, rather than have everybody look at my messy office and desk, why don't we put something up there that's what we do? So one of my sons did the picture and put it in.
Here in Hawaii,
yeah,
we
yeah.
have an avocado called a sharp hill, which is about 3 times the size of that.
Yeah.
And it's thick and creamy. The sharp hill, I think, is the name. They're beautiful avocados.
Yeah.
And my family, Judy, always called avocados pears. They
Oh.
They were called alligator.
Alligator pear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they would make a pear sandwich.
Well, they didn't serve many of those in any of the eating places at Stanford, did they?
No.
Oh.
They had artichokes, which confounded the people from the east.
That's correct.
True.
Somebody just
They'd never
mentioned
seen
that.
them before.
Right. Somebody mentioned that again to me the other day. I was talking at a book club, and one of them, when she heard I was from, I had gone to Stanford, she talked about the artichokes and how she didn't know anything about an artichoke, and I said, yeah, that was, you could tell the people from Illinois or any place else in the Midwest because they never knew what to do when they were served an artichoke.
Did you ever tell anybody from the East at Stanford to have try a nice fresh olive off the tree?
Oh,
That was really a nasty trick.
that was
Very nasty.
yeah. There is nothing more bitter than that. Oh, my God. That's like a snipe hunt. That was the other joke, wasn't it?
Oh, yes.
Oh, right, yeah.
Somebody to go on a snipe hunt.
Or what's the one, Terry, out on the beach? No, Moyant, no. It's only under the full moon.
Grunions.
Grunion.
Grunion hunt.
Grunion hunt. Oh my!
Yes.
Oh, I haven't even heard that word for ages.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, actually, some of the boat dwellers in Sausalito got terribly upset about the grunion because not only do they populate the beaches, but they growl all night long.
Oh,
The only conclusion I can come to is that it must have been a bunch of males that couldn't find the females.
One of our classmates, I've got to check in with her because we haven't heard from her in a long time. Claire Haven, she was a Branner resident at the time.
She was in Russell House too.
Okay, yes. She got posed as a sophomore in the quad in a bathtub with a lot of bubbles. The bubbles concealed whatever, if anything, she was wearing. It was a very, very a Playboy photo.
Oh my God.
She was very, very attractive. The men at Stanford used to make snide comments about, the 2 out of 3 women are beautiful and the third one goes to Stanford, blah,
Yeah.
blah.
The odd women. The odd
9 out of 10.
I'd have to take, looking back at the quads and looking at my memories of some of you here, I'd have to take serious issue with that.
This is the story. Jean was Governor General of the Mayflower Society, and in Plymouth, Massachusetts, there is the Mayflower Society House. And at that time, there was a special room called the Governor's Bedroom. And as governor of the society, you could stay there or you could sleep there. Well, it only had a 4-footed tub and we're shower people. So we took our little handbags over from the hotel and we decided we would sleep there for the night. And at that time I had the camera that you could set it and, you had a few minutes before you hopped in. So Jean's in bed. And so I set it and I hop in bed and we take the picture and we thought this would be sort of fun. Well, the Mayflower Society at that time had a quarterly magazine that they put out. And lo and behold, on the first page, there's a picture of Jean and I sitting there in this bed. Okay. Now, I had on a flannel nightgown and I said to him, I thought if this was going to go viral, I at least would have worn something a little bit more décolleté. But as we have found out, it shocked our kids when they got it because they got the magazines. But there was one member who was considering leaving the society. And when he saw this picture, he said, I thought this was a dull society. But when I saw that picture, I decided I'd stay in. But Ann Ingram, I want to hear what's happening back in DC.
Well, we're having lovely weather, not humid, 75. Can't beat that.
You're not singing anymore in the big group.
No, I sang for 29 years in the Cathedral Choral Society and I loved it, but I retired before they booted me out because the younger singers coming in sounded so much better. It was wounding to my pride, but I did do a couple of virtual ones for our temple choir. Do you know how that works?
Tell us.
You record and in your ears, you're hearing a soloist singing and accompaniment, and you sing. And then you play it back, nude, no accompaniment, no soloist. Oh, it's the most demoralizing experience of my life. So I did 10 of those and set in the least worst. And, we have a masterful technician who made it sound really pretty good.
Well, that's a great technique. A lot of churches are doing that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure there are different levels of the program for the techie. So my friend just belongs to a church that only has the program for 9 singers. That's probably the basement level of that program.
They actually can bring anybody who's a teeny bit off key onto key.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
And if you're a tiny bit off beat, they can bring you onto the beat.
Wow, that's an advantage.
Wow.
I think they can also erase you.
In Palo Alto,
3 o'clock.
What, Joan?
in Palo Alto, I'm on the board of the Friends of Music on campus.
Oh.
So I've enjoyed that and getting to know the faculty and the students who are now undergraduates. Music is doing very well at Stanford, but not many performances in the last months.
But, I got to Stanford, I probably told you, Patty, without ever having graduated from high school. I did not go through a graduation at all, but they took me because I transferred. And I would like to ask the question, I was a transfer, I was a summer only, and then I did well in the summer and I could go back in January, but not in the fall quarter. I'm wondering how many of you all had to do that. And I wonder when it stopped. It was mainly because kids would roll out. They couldn't make it more than one quarter and they would flunk out of Stanford.
Well, there were other reasons too. Some people couldn't handle being away,
Yeah. Oh, sure.
Flunking, yeah.
Yeah. But I don't think that happens anymore. And I came in as a sophomore.
Well, if any of you are not writing about current events, or any of you writing memoirs or things like that to entertain your children?
Well, we wrote family stories, my siblings and I, and I'm the oldest, so I had the most memories. And I think someday they'll appreciate it, but not yet.
Yeah, I'm writing a few too, and I can remember one of our boys is a baseball fan, and he's been a baseball fan since he could talk. And our backyard lawn had 4 big holes in it, one for each base. And he used to do batting practice in the backyard, but we forbade tennis balls because they went too far into the neighbors' yards. So we had wiffle balls. So I came home from work one day and there was my son batting away, but his last hit sent the wiffle ball over the fence into the neighbor's yard. Oops. So to rescue my kid and save his day, I jumped over the fence in my work clothes with my nice wool slacks and picked up the ball, threw it back over. And just as I was at the top of the fence, leaning over the top rail, the neighbor's dog hit my rear end. Put several holes in my nice wool slacks. So I wrote that up, and my son decided he would give his version of it, and you cannot imagine how different the two stories were. Instead of being the hero that rescued his son's day, I became the doofus that was dumb enough to climb over the fence.
Birdie, come and tell us what's happening in your life.
No, it's a lot going on with these graduation. We've been trying to get tickets, but they only give them for 2. So it goes to their mom and dad, to the mom and dad for my grandson's graduation. But we do keep in touch with Dick Horn and come up, and we'll certainly do that in June.
That's one advantage.
My 20 grandchildren are, well, at least half went to Stanford, 11 or 12 went to Stanford. So we're up in that area a lot. We live in.
John, aside from being an author, I think you've got a lot of stuff going at Rossmore for Stanford. I understand you're the president of the Stanford Club there.
That's right. Yeah, I am no longer the president of the Stanford Club. After 6 years, I've decided to hand it off to Marie Lichuaco and Ed Bell, and all of whom are Stanford graduates, of course. But Ed Bell is much more adept at putting Zoom conferences together, so that's good. I'm still on the board and still very active in the club, but we have a very active club, and it's a lot of fun. A lot of 150 Stanford alumni in the Walnut Creek area where we are, and in normal times, which I think we're getting back to, there'll be dinner meetings on Sunday evenings. 250 clubs in Rossmore, and out of 10,000 people. So that this is a very active place. And even during the pandemic, people have been doing a lot of Zoom meetings.
Do other classes do this, Jake? Do other classes have these Zooms?
I think you're a unique and wonderful, lovable, hysterical class.
And we have our own correspondent.
Hysterical in, you guess which way I mean hysterical. Before I sign off though, is everyone aware that there's going to be a reunion this year, and it's going to be the third weekend in October.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Still could be virtual. It could be
Oh, are they on?
Yeah, you're on right now.
it could be a hybrid,
Second.
or it could be, in person.
Well, let's wrap up. And Bill Fernandez, can you give us a nice Hawaiian chant for a farewell here?
Bid you farewell. E kia kua whalani, e ho mai ka iki, e ho mai ka akamai, e ho mai ka mana, e malama mai oe. Oh, class of 1953, Elohe, Elohe, Elohe.
Thank you all.
Aloha.
Thank you, Blaine's, for doing this for us. We really appreciate it. Marge, Terry, thank you.
Next
This is-
time,
you.
ladies all
Thank you.
around, Bill.
Very much so.
Good night, all.
Good night. Good night.
Thank you.
It is
See you,
wonderful
Ben.
to see so
Letting me
many
know
people
about this.
looking so well
Hi, Joe.
after these years, many years that have passed.
Pretty soon.